Are you going to drive fast?
I love driving fast.
Okay.
But I always wear a helmet when I drive fast.
Oh.
I don't really like getting rid of my Jim Richards and Tony Scott signed Volvo hat, but if we're going to drive fast, we'll have to put a helmet on. Oh, these look great, Stewie.
Swedish. Viking.
No, I can't get mine on. It hits the roof.
It's got punch holes in the headlining.
There is a solution.
Morning, Michael.
Hi, Stewie.
What a treat. You give me 10 cylinders of Volvo magic.
Fantastic. Well, which one are we going to take? This one here has got the most power. It's 220 kilowatts.
Oh, yeah?
And this one here is factory standard at 185 kilowatts.
Oh, well, we'll do that one.
This one here is auto, and that's manual.
Oh, no-brainer.
No-brainer?
Yeah, manual.
Okay.
Has to be. What are we in, Michael?
We're in a 1996 Volvo 850R.
So it was preceded by the 850 T5R, wasn't it? And that was a big success for Volvo, so they went even more hardcore.
They did. They involved Porsche in the setting up of the engine and the interior and the transmission.
Yep.
This was a couple of pounds more boost on the turbo.
Yep. It's not last word in horsepower, but it's strong.
It's really noticeable when you get down to second and let it have it.
It's quite a light car.
Oh, only 1,450 kilos. It's extremely light for a large four-door family wagon, which is why they're so quick off the mark.
Look at this view here.
Spectacular. So what are we at here? We want to come back to about 3,000 revs so we can actually feel the lag on the turbo. Right, I've planted it. Now away it goes. Lovely free revving 5-cylinder.
That is cool.
Yes.
You're a Volvo fan, aren't you?
I am a Volvo fan.
You've got 3 of them back there. And
I've had a lot of others.
Have you?
I've had 5 240s, a 940,
yep,
2 XC60s,
and a P1800.
And a P1800.
Oh,
they've all got
gorgeous
names too, by the way.
Oh yeah, what's this one called?
This one's called Scarlet.
Scarlet.
As in Scarlett O'Hara in the movie Gone with the Wind.
Because that's how the car goes?
Well, not only that, but it's got a turbo in it, so it feeds extra wind into the engine, as in this. Look at the boost.
Yep, that pulls. Okay, there's a corner coming up, mate.
No trouble.
Oh, gee, it's firm though.
It's firm.
This is your territory. I see you know these roads pretty well.
I've been out this road many times, Stewie.
1996 was a time when Volvo, spurred on by its success in British touring car racing, got a bit overexcited and decided to get serious with a real performance sedan and wagon that did not skimp on the luxury and safety options. The limited edition 850 T5R had been a big success, but this car, the 850R, had a lot of improvements. More boost, a stronger clutch, gearbox and limited slip diff, upgraded Motronic engine management and spoilers that actually do reduce the drag to create a car that could run to 100 k's in an impressive for its day 6.5 seconds, which wasn't bad and at least the equal of many high-performance cars at the time. And not skimping on the luxury either. The comfy Alcantara and leather seats, 8-speaker stereo, heated seats, and of course, safety, everything you'd expect from a Volvo. 185 kilowatts.
Factory came out 185, and that was a big thing in its day because you got to remember that the V8 Commodores in the day were around the 175, 76, something like that.
Yep.
So to have a little 2.3 litre.
It's not the 2.5, it's 2.3.
No, 2.3. So what they did was they decided that the high boost put out by the turbo was going to be too much stress on the cylinder walls, so they actually put thicker liners in the 2.5 litre block. Big boosting turbo, and you've got to remember in the 90s that when this came out, turboing and intercooling was only such a new thing. It's got a massive intercooler in the front of this. It's the full width of the and of the radiator, both vertically and horizontally.
But it's a long way away from the turbo, which is at the back of the motor.
Yeah, a bit of a problem we get, like you don't get on the modern cars, but on this you get quite a turbo lag. We're in fourth now. We'll just go up to fifth. You put your foot on it. So I'm watching that, and it takes quite a while to come up.
Yeah, it boosts up now. Yep, got it.
Yeah. On the instantaneous readout, under full acceleration, you can actually make this car use 50 litres, 100 k's.
That's like V8 supercar.
Well, you know, the old saying, I had a saying when I had my transport business, if you want heat, you've got to put wood on the fire. So that's exactly what this does.
And 5-speed manual or 4-speed auto.
Yeah.
I see you've swapped out the Pirelli P0s this came with as a standard tyre.
Yeah, when the Michelin Potties come out, they are a better tyre for our country, for the country road. This top bridge is quite rough, feel this going over it. Yeah.
And the suspension is very firm.
Very firm. Interesting. Well, just flip it on the cruise control there. It holds its, on cruise control, it really holds its speed up and down the hills quite well for a manual. Fantastic.
I really like, something I'd forgotten with older cars like this is just how good the vision is. With these low sills, you've got such good vision, small pillars, you just see out so well.
The steering in this car is, well, I think it's one of its strong points. Feels so direct.
Yeah.
You turn in and that does exactly what it is. For a front wheel drive car, but what Volvo did to make this turn better, it has a limited slip diff, but it has, they fitted different drive shafts into the R's to what they did in the normal 850 cars.
Because they had a lot of axle tramp in them.
They had with the high boosting engine, it just was too much.
Yep. So they fitted viscous couplings?
Yes, Stu, they fitted viscous couplings into this.
I must say the 5-cylinder motor sounds really nice. There's something about 5s and V10s that sound
It runs
really
so smooth. When you lift the bonnet and watch the motor idling, the motor just sits, you don't even know it's running. It's so smooth.
A lot smoother than a 4 and a lot smoother than a 6 in
Much.
other cases.
Came with all the safety, or a lot of safety features that weren't in other cars back in the 90s. It was just when airbags were getting going, so they had driver and passenger side airbags, as well as in the side of the seat.
Confession. I've never really been a Volvo fan. For a few years in the mid-1990s, I owned a 7-seater Volvo 940 SE Turbo. Unreliable, soggy handling box it was. I grew to dislike it a lot. Now this car, the 850R, is a big improvement to look at than the preceding 740 and 940 series cars, but there's still no getting away from it. It's boxy, isn't it? But its simple straight lines are more appealing to me than they used to be. It's not overstyled and pretentious, like so many modern cars that have to fill every empty space with a crease or a fake vent or a plastic panel. After spending a day with it, there is actually a strange appeal. So how did you come by this car? This particular car?
This particular car, well, my wife just decided one day as she was driving past our local Volvo dealer, and she saw it and said, I'm having that car. So
did she ring you up first and go?
No, she didn't check with me. There's no need to. Yeah, she's an independent woman. She doesn't need her husband's approval. She has bought all her cars without. It's always a surprise. I get quite a lot of surprise. Some women come home and surprise their husbands with handbags and shoes.
Yep.
My wife does it with cars.
Yep.
I was quite impressed, by the way. It was only some time after that we actually found out the actual history of the car. Pauline was on a flight to Melbourne one day and was at the Canberra airport and browsing through the newsagents there and come across the Motor magazine, and she rings me up and says, you're not going to believe this, my car's on the cover of the Motor magazine.
That one there?
Yeah, that's the one.
That particular, it's got the same number plate that the car we're in right now?
Kept the same number plates,
okay.
Yes.
So it didn't win Car of the Year that year?
Didn't win Car of the Year, no.
Just for the record, the E36 M3 BMW did that year.
Oh, so it was a Volvo Australia demonstrator. It went to all the racetracks when Peter Brock and Jim Richards were driving the 850 in the Super Tourers, and they took customers around the racetracks in this car. Mark Williamson also did a little bit of a drive in this, as did Stevie Richards.
Who's Mark Williamson?
Mark Williamson.
You mean the guy that I normally do the show with?
The world's famous Mark Williamson.
Sorry, Mark. That was just a momentary lapse there. Carry on.
These certainly weren't a cheap car when it came out. This was a $79,000 motor car back brand new. So this car can claim that it is the only Peter Brock driven road registered Volvo in Australia.
Woo, it's a Brock Special.
It's a Brock Special. Sorry, Holden fans.
Okay. I feel really honoured to be travelling with you in it. And look, the ride's not as bad as you led me to believe. You told me it was.
It's harsh. It's firm. I had a friend of mine tell me that he reckoned it was the only car that he'd sat in the back of that he needed a kidney belt on. It does sit well in the corners, so you can't have everything, as they say.
What music does it play? Have you got a cassette in there? Let's have a listen.
It plays ABBA beautifully.
I've planted a lot of trees here. I've planted something like 7,000. I think family's the most important facet of your life. The responsibility of raising kids. I look at a product, I feel it has integrity, and that's the one that I go with. The 850R is one of the quickest four-door cars you'll ever get into. Nothing like the cars of old. I reckon this is a real driver's car, and it's definitely a car for the 90s.
Righto, show me some boost. Oh no, we can't run a 50 zone. No, don't. Whoa, it does sound good. This car's got racing heritage, hasn't it?
This car has got racing heritage. So yeah, it's at Bathurst in the 2-litre Super Tourers. Jimmy Richards took over from Pete. Peter wasn't allowed to drive under some contractual arrangements with Holden.
Oh yeah.
So they put Jim in the car with no practice and no notice in the rain and went out and blitzed the field and won it.
That's Jimmy in the rain.
That's Jimmy the Rain Master.
He's a friend of yours?
Jimmy's a friend of mine, yeah, and a rival of Mark's. Mark's actually beaten him, hasn't he?
Yeah, in the rain at Bathurst in Nations Cup in Porsche GT3s.
Wow.
Mark actually beat Jimmy, so...
That's quite a feather in your hat.
Sorry, Mark, we're puffing you up a bit here.
By far the best sounding engine out there in that Volvo too. I never thought I would actually say that, but I am, and it's a great sounding car.
Well, I tell you what, the way Volvo's going, the next 5 years as they get towards the year 2000, I think Volvo will be a very different car company.
I keep saying it, but I just love the vision. You don't realise those awkward long A-pillars that modern cars have.
Yeah, it's those dash electric cars, Stewie. They block you in. Sorry about that.
It's not just electric cars that have big long A-pillars.
But you don't get that beautiful sound in an electric car.
No, you don't.
What do you get?
Yeah.
What noise do they make, Stuart? Electric car.
Let's just carry on. We'll talk about this car. Stop hassling me.
You know I've won that argument.
Well, hopefully we can still be driving cars like this in another 25 years.
I'm sure we will. Enthusiasts like
Petrol,
us.
Yep. You'll need to take out a second mortgage on the house to buy 10 litres of petrol, but...
Well, if everyone converts over to electric, it may become cheaper due to supply and demand.
Maybe.
Maybe.
You've also raced at Bathurst. You did pretty well. You came 11th out of about 35 cars in the Pulsar race.
Yeah,
recently.
I was going really well till the stewards decided they wanted to have a look under my bonnet.
Oh. What did they find?
They found that I'd actually removed the tagged engine.
You had an untagged engine?
Yes, I put in a special edition engine for that weekend. Seeing it was a non-points round, I thought it'd be just fun.
So basically you cheated?
Well, some would say that, but well, yes, basically I cheated. But the good thing was that I did get some lovely signatures in my logbook.
Bastard.
Cheating bastard.
Yeah, Mark would never do that.
Mark would never do that.
He would never cheat.
But I just do it for the fun, my racing. I'm not...
And it was a non-championship round.
Non-championship round.
And you didn't pretend you
No, I didn't pretend that I...
You didn't put fake tags on, you just had no tags.
No fake news.
All right, okay.
Just...
Well, how come you didn't win then if you had a cheater motor?
Well, someone gave me a tap at the top of the mountain and...
Oh, yeah.
So I was going sideways at McPhillamy doing 160 and scraped the wall. And yeah.
As you do.
Off over into the gravel, and then I started last in the next race. And then it come to this steward's attention once I'd overtaken 23 cars in
It's
3
pretty
laps.
obvious.
See if we can get around these two here, Stewie.
Oh, short and sweet,
Can we get back in before the...
easy. Plain sailing.
Yeah,
It's a very nice car.
it's a lovely old car.
Plenty of power,
Plenty of power.
5-speed manual,
Brakes.
aircon, safety stuff. Being a Volvo, it's very safe.
Had very few cars in the 90s had the independent
Yep. Dual zone.
dual
aircon.
zone. Yeah,
You got manual equalizer.
manual.
I like
equalizer.
that. It's just it's an analog car, isn't it? Everything's
Everything's analog. This high-tech digital readout down here was,
Yep. That's your only concession.
that was the only concession.
Yeah, we don't look so much like Vikings as we're more like
Not
court
Vikings.
jesters.
Yeah, we do.
I don't want anybody to think that we're less than serious in everything we do with our reviews. So
Okay.
very comfy seats as well. Not a lot of bolster support, but they're plush and soft. Alcantara and leather. You've lived in Young all your life?
All my life, yeah. I'm 7th generation of our family to live at Young.
So fair to say you probably know these roads pretty well.
Probably know these roads reasonably well, yes.
This is a lovely corner.
This is a lovely corner.
So 5th gear, you didn't even bother changing down.
No need to change now.
Bit rough there in the middle. Yeah, that's good. Hardly, well, no body roll.
No body roll. Definitely no body roll of this
Yeah.
car. Swedish brick, Swedish taxi.
But the drag coefficient is 0.29,
It's amazing, isn't it?
thanks to the splitter at the front.
Yeah,
And just a
the
bit of
splitter at the
aero-
front was quite different on the R's compared to all the other Volvo models. Very collectible, especially red ones, because there was only 20 red ones brought into Australia out of
there?
all the colours, yes.
Okay.
I'll never ever sell it again.
So with the 850R in 1996, they did a great job. I drove it as well, and it had a real charm about it. Sure, any modern hatch will get away from it, but who cares? What to criticise? As you'd gather, the ride was on the firm side, and you did have to wait for the turbo boost to build up, and it wasn't quite as torquey down low as you might expect. But the nicely weighted steering, strong brakes, great vision, and luxurious appointments made it a real pleasure. It's actually got real character. From the inside, I can see the attraction. From the outside, not so much. So I looked around, and I did find a couple for sale in Australia, manual and automatics, sedan and wagon. Cheaper than I expected, and all with high mileage as you'd expect of a car of this age. This one kind of appeals. Pretty tidy, clearly a bit of money spent tweaking it up to around 300 wheel horsepower, and at 20k it even comes with a prancing moose, so the guy's clearly an enthusiast. Yeah, why not? Well, that's the review today. Thanks for watching inCARnation with my special guest host. Ta-da!
Michael Ricketts.
Yes, that's his name. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Oh hey, you made it right through to the end of the video. Congratulations. Thank you for watching. If you like what you see, please share it with your motoring friends. And above all, click the little subscribe thing down here so you can see the latest videos when we bring them out, hopefully each week. I look forward to seeing you soon.